Hello there, grade 11. Welcome to another video. Of course, a new video, a new type of function, and this is the exponential function. So an exponential function is a function defined by f of x is equal to a raised to x. Of course, this is the base, this is the exponent. And sa exponential function, there is an unknown variable in the exponent. There is also a restriction sa exponential function. That is, the base should be greater than 0. Bakit? Kung ang base kasi natin ay negative number, let's say negative 1, at kung ni-raise natin yung negative number na to sa fraction na exponent, okay, negative 1 raised to 1/2 is the same as square root of negative 1. Well then, this is imaginary and we cannot plot this in the Cartesian plane. In other words, hindi to magfa-function. Okay? So, yun ang problema sa mga negative bases if we're going to raise them to an exponent. That's why may restriction dito. Another is that it should not be equal to 0. Hindi included sa 0 sa mga numbers na pwedeng maging base. Bakit? 0 raised to a negative number, let's say 0 raised to negative 1, this is the same as saying as 1 over 0. And alam naman natin na 1 over 0 is undefined, di ba? And this is something that we cannot plot in the Cartesian plane. So, hindi to magfa-function. Another important thing to note is 0 raised to 0, isa na naman tong hindi pwedeng i-plot because 0 raised to 0 is indeterminate. Ano ulit ang indeterminate? These are numbers that has different values in different cases. So, hindi pwede na ang base ay negative, hindi din pwede na ang base ay 0. And there is another restriction saying that the base should not be equal to 1. Bakit? Kung ang base kasi natin ay 1, and if we're going to raise 1 to any number, ang magiging sagot ay itself. Example, if you're going to raise 1 to a negative number, 1 din lang naman ang sagot. If you are going to raise 1 to a fractional exponent, ang sagot din lang naman ay 1. And kung ang i-raise mo ay 0, the answer is 1. If you're going to raise it to a positive exponent, the answer is 1. So, boring siya actually kasi if you're going to make a table of values at kung i-graph mo yan, ang graph niyan ay horizontal line. So, yun. Ang graph kasi ng exponential function is a continuous curve. Okay? So, another important things to note if we're talking about exponential function are this. Okay, so the domain of an exponential function is the set of all real numbers. So, anong pinagsasabi nito? Lahat daw ng real numbers pwede mong i-substitute dito in place of x. Since meron na kasi yung ating restriction, wala na tayong dapat iwasan. Okay? So, kahit na anong number ang isa-substitute mo sa variable in the exponent, hindi ka magkakaroon ng result na imaginary, undefined, or indeterminate kasi meron na tayong restrictions dito. Okay? So, wala tayong dapat iwasan. So, lahat ng numbers pwedeng i-substitute in place of x. Another thing is that the range consists of all positive real numbers. So, kahit na anong number ang isa-substitute mo dito, ang lalabas na result ay positive real numbers. Diba? So, kahit 1/2 raised to a negative exponent is positive 2, right? Kahit 1/2 raised to 0 is 1. 1/2 raised to a positive exponent is positive, right? So, kahit na anong isa-substitute mo, ang result ay positive real number. So, let's try to determine whether the given are exponential function or not. Okay? So, dapat lang naman natin kilatisin ang base at saka yung exponent. So, in number 1, is this an exponential function or not? Tingnan mo yung base muna. Is the base greater than 0? Is the base not equal to 1? If it's not, then this is an exponential function. There is an unknown variable in the exponent. Now, in number 2, the base is something that we don't know. Hindi natin alam kung ano ang base niya. Hindi natin alam kung 0 siya or negative or positive number. Kasi unknown siya eh. We cannot really determine the base. In that case, this is not an exponential function. In number 3, as you can see, the base is negative, so this is not an exponential function. So number 4, ang base natin ay pi. And we all know that the value of pi is approximately 3.14. And is 3.14 greater than 0? Yes. So this one here is an exponential function. So given the definition of exponential function, I hope you already know how to determine a given function if it is exponential function or not. Thank you again for watching.